Alright, we're back here. Now, I set this up, and I'll explain why I have the throw lever on the right side instead of the left here in a little bit, but let's get to the stuff Larue threw in with it, which I thought was kind of neat. In the box, they threw in what they're calling Dillo dust. It's a dry rub for cooking. That's the ingredients. I thought about getting some when I was on the site screwing around, and they threw it in, so I thought that was pretty cool. They also, of course, throw in an Allen wrench along with the screws that come with the mount, and then their wrench for adjusting the throw lever. And that goes for the top right there. Let me see if I can get it better in the light. So you can adjust the tension on your throw lever. It's a very flat screw. You could use a socket if you had one to get in there, or any other wrench. But to throw this one in, which is as flat as can be, has enough length for torque, and they put a hole in the back. You could attach a lanyard to it, and you could throw it. I mean, you could almost put that in a pistol grip. It's not going to fit. I mean, I'm just saying that's how big it is. But you could stow that in your pack and take that with you, and you wouldn't know you had it, and you'd have that capability down the road. And being that guy's a soldier, I'm sure he thought of all of that. It's well thought out gear. He threw in a couple cards explaining there pretty much it lasts forever warranty, and one explaining the adjustment of the locking lever. They threw in a help NRA fight for you, save $10 when you join if you're not already a member. And then I saw these on there, and I was like, oh man, I wouldn't mind having one of them. I have no use for it, I don't think, really. I use the spine of my blade to open a bottle, but I saw these. Beverage entry tools. It's aluminum. You got the spot for twist-offs. You got that bottle opener, and then the little tail to get your, if you can't get your finger under the pry top. So, kind of neat. And I was like, well, he threw it in. That's pretty cool. Not a big deal, but, you know, cool just the same. And it's freebie. Threw in a pamphlet on some of their stuff. A little bit of propaganda. Be a nice read in a little while. My favorite propaganda in this whole thing, the OBR, Optimized Battle Rifle, made by Larue. 308 like an AR-10, but made by Larue. Hard to beat. If I didn't have the SOCOM already, I'd be lusting after that one. You know, some more stuff for parts and service. A pocket Constitution. Enough said right there. Very handy, very nice. And more people should look at this thing before they open their mouth. Some bumper stickers that I also thought about purchasing. And my favorite, extremely right wing. Hell yeah. All you need to do is put nut job on there to make the liberals happy. Extremely right wing nut job. Put that right on the truck. I have to put this across from the infidel sticker I got from Trigger Time 71. Ford's looking at taking my truck back right now. I'm filling out paperwork, so I'm going to wait a little while before I put this stuff up, but that may go right up there next to the infidel sticker. So thanks, Trigger Time. Now I got a nice set. But that's all stuff they threw in. I mean, how do you beat that? You know, I'm sure some of that is to further business, and sure some of that is to be part of what you purchased. But, I mean, come on. Some of that was just being nice. Some guys will say I paid for it and it wasn't a freebie because Larue things cost so much money. I don't believe they cost so much money because if you look at the GG&G mount, it's almost double what I paid for my Larue mount. It weighs twice as much, and the only thing it offers me that this doesn't is it has flip-up lenses built in, and it comes with the lenses. The lenses are $30, give or take, right? So the mount would still be $25 to $30 more than the Larue mount, and it weighs more. And although it's probably exceptionally strong, I thought this was the way to go. These are the extra screws from doing all the swap out. And now, without any further ado, I will show you what this bad boy is like on the rifle. and it's just that easy. Sits right on there, done, and solid as a rock. Tight. So they say when you pop these off, they want you to pull them down and leave them stuck on, so you don't lose them. Not a bad idea, but for purposes of this, we'll just leave them over there. Looking down the sight, you see it leaves the bottom open a bit, gives you more view, but it's going to be hindered, of course, by the rear sight. So having the full box out wouldn't be that bad, but when I put it up on the cheek weld, it's not blocked. I still have all of that. And looking down in it, I can't give you that angle with this camera because of where the lens sits on the phone, but it opens up a field of view through here that would be otherwise boxed out. So I like that design. Now, as far as the co-witness goes, you'll see that looking through there, here I'll flip down the sight so I get a bigger peep. You'll see if I look through, I'll try to turn it on here while I'm doing this. You see where it pops up? Dead on. Maybe I'll make it a little brighter for you. So you see, if I can straighten the gun up, it's dead on the top of my iron sight. I could leave these up and run it like that if I felt like it, and it just helped me find the iron sight that much faster. Not a big deal. But what that's doing for me is keeping the sight closer to the rifle. So when I have everything flipped down, this overall height is reduced, and I'm able to still keep the sight where I like it and be able to use the sights. Now, we'll see, if I would have had a fixed front sight base, it would be standing up all the time. This would be too low because a fixed front sight is higher than that. So, I mean, obviously you're not going to have that problem on an ACR. I'm talking for an AR-15. But this thing is outstanding. I ran it way forward on the gun. I ran it all the way back. A lot of guys are pretty much either removing or running this all the way to the rear of the rail and using it as a rear peep. So they're saving some weight here, and if the electronics go down, they would just basically stare through it, pop up their front, and use it as a ghost ring. And you see, if we just center it in there, the dot isn't that far off. And for real bad circumstances, I can't see that being any worse than the sights on top of my ACOG, because it's such a short sight base. And that's just a peep as well with a pistol front blade. So that would work just fine. I've heard of a lot of the guys doing that. But I thought about it, and I ran it all the way back here, which makes the objective seem bigger than it does when you run it way out. And I liked it. But over time, playing Air Commando in my basement, I found that putting it here seems to just feel better on the gun. I ran it way up to get a better two eyes open, and I ran it way back to use it more like a peep. But here seemed to be the right combination, and with both eyes open, just feels like the right spot. I'll get back into more of it here. It looks like I got to do another part.